Semin had a hat trick. One of the hat tricks I remember was against Tampa Bay. It was a slap shot, forehand, backhand. Tonight, kind of the same thing.
Ну, каждая игра по-разному. Сегодня так получается, в другой игре по-другому. Сегодня неудобно поставил. Ну, я там, мне неудобно было, я уже поставил плюшку, как мне уже приходилось. Хорошо, что хотел.
Every game is different. Today you score in this way, tomorrow you score another way. I struggling to remember the backhand. Was it the third one? Anyway, I was just trying to get my stick on the puck and make sure it winds up in the net.
That first one, you see guys after practice all the time just pumping shots at empty nets, and that one seemed like it's a result of just kind of knowing that if you get enough of it, shoot it right, it's got a chance of winning.
В конце тренировок постоянно гуляете по пустым воротам, похоже.
Я в эту игру не играю. Я играю, потому что 2 раза играл за сезон. Так ребята играют, мне нравится.
I never really played this game. All the other guys played, but I tried to avoid it. I don't know why. Maybe I just don't like it.
How hard was that? How hard was that shot?
Super сильно.
Первый? First?
Да ну просто сколько можно отыгрывать. Не знаю, смысла с этого. Просто.
I mean, really, how many times can you try to get around guys? I would just try to not think about it for once and just
you guys obviously were short on defense. How much more pressure does that put on you guys, and kind of how is it out there?
Greeny was out there, but he was kind of our power play specialist.
Yeah.
But it's kind of easy at the start because it keeps you in the game a lot, and you're playing. I think towards the end we were starting to get a little tired. But it was fun. Our team played hard. It was a big win.
It seemed like you guys really had a lot of energy out there. What did it feel like on the ice? I mean, did it feel like you kind of had an extra skip in your step?
Yeah, I thought we were buzzing around there pretty good. Putting a lot of pressure on them. I think for the first period we kind of got our shot pretty bad, but stepped up in the third there and we played really well.
Thanks, John.
I didn't really see the whole thing. I looked back and I saw Newby. He was on the ground and I knew he did something, so I just kind of went after him and I was trying to.
You went to work out. You seemed like you were in the right place at the right time a couple of times tonight. The other night you blocked a couple of shots. You're feeling pretty good with the way you're playing right now.
Not bad. I think there's still some stuff to clean up, little mistakes here and there, but yeah, it felt good out there pretty much. We were playing a lot of minutes and it kept us in the game.
Did you guys exhibited a greater degree of consistency so far this year? Alex Semin, consistent.
Yeah, it's pretty hard. You know, I mean, the consistency has been there for sure. I mean, it's 8 games in, but there's been no real lapses. And tonight he got rewarded for playing a good game.
How nice was it that Mike Green on the power play tonight?
Well, it's good. I would have liked to have more, but I mean, even though we didn't score any goals, I thought we had constant pressure, and the power play was more like we're capable of playing it.
What do you do for that loose puck? Did that make you nervous at all with his shoulder?
No, I wasn't nervous about him at all. You know, just we made the decision before the game that we'll see how Mike is. If he's comfortable, we'll play him more. But the intent was to play him on the power play and go with 5.
How difficult was it to manage with 5 or since coming into it? Was it an easier thing, or just?
Oh, Woody, I thought Woody did a great job of managing the bench, and would have liked for them to have gotten a penalty before the 30-minute mark, so to get a little bit more rest for Mike, or for some of them, so Mike could play. But I thought we played disciplined enough where we didn't get a lot of penalties where it didn't end up where we overtaxed them.
1 point shots were 21-6, I think.
Yes.
What happened?
Well, I don't know. I mean, sometimes other teams, I knew they were going to come out and be very good because they've been very lackluster the last 2 games at home, and they played really well, skated really well, didn't give us much of a chance to breathe, sort of thing. But it's really difficult to keep that pace up. And we started, I think we got a power play, and we got a little bit of momentum off the power play, got 3 or 4 shots on it, and then we continued, and we talked about getting it deep and tiring them out, especially when they only ended up down to 5 defensemen as well. And I thought our bigger forwards managed, to wear the defense down a little bit.
What did they tell you about the goal that Green kicked in or pushed
They
in?
came over and he just said Toronto overruled it, but we thought it was a goal, and Toronto overruled it. So, it was a tough thing because we all knew the intent of what Mike was trying to do was move it up to his stick. He wasn't trying to kick it in, but the motion was towards the net. So I mean, it was probably a lot of questions going on in the Toronto room, and it did hit somebody, but that doesn't come into play at all.
How important was Michael Weber when it was the shots were 21-60? You were still in the game.
He was keeping us in the game, and good goalies keep you in the game, It's unfortunate that they scored that goal at the end. I would have liked to see them only come out with 2 goals against, but we managed to battle through it and get the win, which is obviously the most important thing.
What did you see on that play where Neuberg got flipped?
I just watched the replay as much as it was down the other end. So, but you could see that Buffalo, it was almost looking like he wanted to make it look like he wasn't trying to hit him, but he did try to hit him. And that's what it is. And you could see he leaned his leg in a little bit with his shoulder, and when a man that size comes in at 20 miles an hour, it's going to knock you for a loop.
Bruce, you said at the time it was tough to cut Matt Perrault. Is it tougher now to make a decision on him?
Yeah, he played pretty good. He was the catalyst in the third period. Semin had 2 goals this year, and he comes in and he gets 3. So he did a lot of good things. It's a great thing about having depth. On the other hand, the best game Marcus played was the last game too. So and then Fleisch got the overtime winner. So and Stex won every face-off down the stretch, and Nicky's Nicky. So I think if we put Nicky on waivers, somebody'd claim him. So it's tough decisions, but like we said, coming out of training camp, even though our record's only 5-3, we got a lot of good forwards.
Was he really fault or send it off for going after Buffalo?
No, I applaud him. That's what you need to do to protect your teammates. Sometimes as a coach, you sit back there and you go, we only got 5 defense, but if you start using that as a criteria, then your players don't get protected. So he did what he was supposed to do.
Was this a kind of game that you guys needed with just 5D essentially and the 2 call-ups, and just sort of to have this come from behind everybody very long?
Any kind of win would have been the kind of win we needed. I thought it would have been a real tough pill to swallow if we hadn't have come away with points going on 3 tough road games next week. So it was, with 3 days off, it's really going to help because we played a lot of hockey, and as you know, we've got a lot of banged up bodies. So it's going to really help and give us 2 good practice days on Monday and Tuesday before we go to Carolina.
Ovechkin didn't end up on the score sheet, but in 9 hits, it seemed like he really was stepping up his physical game tonight.
Yeah, he was getting mad, So and his will come. There's once a year he goes through a stretch where he doesn't get any points, and he doesn't score any goals, and then he goes 30 games out of 33, and that's just the way he is. But you can see he's getting closer. He's getting a little frustrated, but he's getting a little closer.